Let's go around here. Over here. Plastering. The room. We're nearly there.
That was fun. Happy birthday to me!
When I asked Jess what she wanted for her birthday, this is what she asked for.
I'm puffed. This thing's hard work.
You're doing well though.
Oh, thank you. It's a lot of fun though.
Oh yeah.
I want to plant more fruit trees. So I've ordered a heritage peach, which we're going to plant back here. We've just bought a mandarin, planted a lime, 2 feed drawers, and I just bought some blueberries.
Orchard in the backyard.
Well, why not? Grow your own food.
Did we go too far, Jess?
I don't like the way it looks at all. But I'm trying to think long term. Alright, you got the shot, you can do the rest.
Hello! So the thing about ceiling hatches is there's only so many places on the ceiling that you can put it because you need a certain amount of space above the hatch in the roof, and the roof is only high in the middle through here. And you also need enough ceiling area for the staircase and everything to fold down, so that rules out the hallway on the other side of that wall. This is like the only place we can put the ceiling hatch, and unfortunately it's in a living room, so we want to make it look good.
Right, so we have our jib and we got our hatch. And the issue is the transition of it, right? So what happens in between?
Yeah, I was going to say, usually the easy way is to put a big fat architrave across there and just cover the hole.
Yeah.
But then that architrave will be super visible there. It'll stand out. We're trying to avoid that.
We don't want a 20 mil negative detail. We want it to be, what, 10?
Yeah, at the most.
And you just picked up a plastering bead, which is like a U shape. So the two actions now are plywood on one side and a ripping, and rebate the ceiling hatch.
We have to extend the frame up a little bit because we're lowering the hatch down to make it flush with the ceiling. I need to rip some timber to fill this part out as well. And then we'll have maximum fixing to support the hatch.
Right, we did a hostile takeover of the camera here. We locked Scott in the ceiling space in the attic.
Help! Help!
He's okay though. He had food for 3 days.
Help! slight issue with the molding. It's made to fit like this. You get your 13mm plasterboard in there like that. And this is the ceiling side, right? But you notice that was quite a squeeze. See that?
Just say it, Scott.
You're kind of rocking on this part of the steel.
It sucks.
It sucks. So the steel out here is meant to be the thing that sticks out the most, and then the plastering can be, you know, you can plaster up to the steel and get a nice flat surface, but this part, we need to change the bead is what I'm trying to say.
Unless we're doing it wrong, then we suck.
Never admit that on camera.
Oh, okay. Made of timber?
We're at an impasse. Rolling lots of shit, so it kind of suppresses.
Yeah, I mean...
Like I...
Eddie, that safety sheet. I was looking at the fire truck red safety shoes. That looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it is a bit of a bum site, isn't it, Raymond?
Sorry, do you have enough sheets for bathroom, toilet, and the laundry?
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
Got sheets we need for inside.
Yeah. Shall I take this back home?
Sure. Don't use that anymore. I got another bead. So this bead it has steel in it as well, like the other one, but it also has paper. So it's all paper on the outside, and then there's some steel underneath that forms that hard corner. And then the plasterer kind of plasters it onto the ceiling and then puts a layer over the top and gets a nice clean edge. But we'll show that. A couple of people asked if I'm going to be doing the plastering myself. No way, no chance. The last time I tried plastering, a family member had a meter box removed, and then they just needed a piece of plasterboard to cover the hole. So I went around there and I put the plasterboard on, and then I thought, well, it's not really worth getting a plasterer just for this. So I skim coated it myself, and I had to go back like 3 or 4 times. I'd do one coat, and then it wasn't quite right, and then go back the next day, and then sand it, and I need to fill that. And I remember thinking, this is a lot harder than it looks. And I want this to look good. So rather than me struggling, I'm going to pay a professional. So Raymond,
Yeah.
what is your opinion on doing plastering yourself?
It's so much harder than you think.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it's with anything, right? That the professional, they make it look super easy. So you think like, how hard can it be? Just slap a bit of mud on the wall. But yeah, you'll regret that.
But you do it yourself every now and then.
I do.
Yeah.
But I went through years of regret.
Years of regret.
Yeah, I mean, you just need to bite through it, right?
Yeah.
Where do I go?
Straight ahead and at the roundabout turn right. Yeah, I kind of got the same attitude, I think.
Yeah.
What about you? DIY plastering? We'll leave it to the pros.
Well, the quesadilla is pretty damn good.
Good, huh?
There you go. Just about napkins and extra hot sauce if you want to go hard on it.
Oh, no worries. That was Baba Yaga's on the main road in Richmond. If you're in the area, they do beautiful quesadillas. I was going to get a cookie, I forgot. Highly recommend.
Highly recommend, yeah. Detour worthy. Detour worthy.
What does that mean? Oh, detour worthy.
Yeah. Thanks for the translation.
Thought you were doing some crazy Dutch phrase.
No.
Turn on closed captions when Ray's on the videos.
Yeah.
Which one's that?
I mean, this remove stuff, we're just not going to screw into it.
Oh yeah, if you just do the bottom plate. insulating all interior walls and exterior walls.
Gotcha. That was an eye-opener for me when you start looking at how other people build. To just go over doorways and windows, yeah, and then just cut it in situ.
This is the corner I belonged in, the cheapest corner. No, I love that shop.
What do you got here, Jess?
Some really nice big terracotta pots.
Second hand, huh?
Mm-hmm. And then look at this one. Needs a bit of TLC, but look at that.
Not bad.
It's really hard to find anything other than just what's a Mitre 10 in this country.
Really hard to find good pot here.
It's really hard to find good pot here.
Your hair looks good.
Oh, thank you.
So it's all happening in there. The plasterers are doing a great job so far. They managed to get the bead in. It worked out exactly as I hoped. So now that they're busy in there, I have moved on to the laundry. I'm hoping that I get to line the laundry in time for them to start plastering it before they finish the living room. Takes a few days. You know, they've got to let the first coats dry, come back, another coat dry, and then eventually they sand it. So I should have this done. Now, speaking of paying the professionals to do the job and not trying to battle away myself, I've also decided to get a painter. We just had a painter stop by to have a look at the job. And I'm going to get them to spray the ceiling and paint the walls because that living room has got so much light coming in from many directions. Our little DIY job that we did in the bedroom didn't turn out as well as we hoped. And we kind of get away with it in there. It's just a bedroom, right? But the living room has to be good, has to be mint. Pretend I'm not here, okay?
Aye.
Just pretend I'm not here.
Okay.
Is that what you usually do? Oh, okay.
We should move this clothes horse. Our viewers don't want to see our undies and our socks.
I thought it would be a good idea to have a look at the plans and talk about what the intention is and why we're doing things in the order that we're doing them. So this is probably the orientation that you're most used to seeing the house at, because here's the French door and the deck that we built goes around it there like that. So you walk into here, kitchen, living. This is the area that's being plastered right now. The next stage is to go into this area here. But the plan is actually that way around, and that is reflected on our little goal chart. Complete the home in 2023. French door. So we've only done that bedroom. We're trying to finish this one. We're trying to finish that, and then we'll move over to this area. So yeah, we're obviously getting to that stage where we're finishing the plastering and thinking about the paint. Paint colors.
Not just the paint, just all the finishing details.
Yeah, totally.
Because we both get quite overwhelmed. I don't know that we're very confident in this.
Decision fatigue is a real thing as well.
Oh God, I'm so sick of making decisions, which sounds really spoiled, but it's a bit overwhelming. They feel very important, and interior design feels like something that we'll do, and then we'll go, oh, I hate it.
Oh, we shouldn't have done that.
Oh, why did we do that? That's what we're afraid of.
But maybe you can say what we're thinking about for the kitchen.
We have a few things that we are certain about. So the kitchen, which will go all along here, we want to do in timber. Either be plywood or solid timber. They're both super expensive, so I'm going to leave that one up to Scott. But we like the look of it, and then we're thinking stainless steel bench tops, but not the super reflective one, like a satin finish, and a mirror splashback.
We have been watching a channel called Archi Marathon, a YouTube channel, and it's Melbourne based. One of them runs an architectural company, and in all their jobs they put mirror splashbacks. And the idea is that rather than having a dead end wall, you're creating more depth and bouncing light around a little bit more and making it not feel like a dead end wall.
It can also reflect like the garden outside, which we think is quite nice. And I don't really have a strong opinion either way, so sorry. Just hit the plaster. And I don't really have a strong opinion on that. I think it would be cool, like a slightly darker satin stainless steel bench top and then a slightly darkened mirror, so they're not too intense, because we will get the morning sunlight, and I do worry about it blinding us. We'll see. Scott just really wants to check himself out while he's cooking. That's the true reason. The other thing we're like 99% sure on is this wall area here, which you guys might remember used to be the fireplace. We're going to do built-ins, so cabinetry, yoink, all along here, timber again with a bench top, and so like lights, lamps and plants and whatnot, and then all up here a reclaimed Rimu feature wall, because we've been ripping out all this Rimu from the house. We can plane it, and it'd be really cool to essentially do a nice version of that hideous fake stuff that we used to have in the hallway. And then that leaves these two walls here. So Scott and I were watching Ted Lasso last night, and if you've ever watched it, there's an episode where they follow Coach Beard around London on a night out after they lose a big football game. That whole episode had the coolest, like mid-century, slightly surreal vibe, and at the end of it, Scott and I looked at each other and said, how do we make a living room feel like that episode? And everything's kind of like rich textures and tones, low lighting, very mid-century. It was awesome. So we had an idea. Paint this wall gold. Paint this wall gold. Kind of out there, but when I lived in Berlin, one of my best friends had a gold feature wall in her apartment, and we both loved it. And if it looks awful, you can always just paint over it. Right, it's easy to paint over things, right?
So moving into the area we're working now. So my idea behind this whole space here, where the fireplace used to be, is all our main storage. So the laundry will be built into this, and I want to keep it nice and narrow, so I'm going to stack the washer and the dryer like that, and then the sink will be here. And that way, when you open the cupboards, you're not opening massive doors, you're opening doors enough to have the whole laundry accessible, and it will just look like a white wall with lines in it eventually.
When we lived in our little apartment in Stonefields in Auckland, it was 45 square metres, and the laundry was in the hallway, so when you opened up the doors, they basically blocked the whole hallway, and it wasn't a problem. You're only in there for like 5 minutes, chucking your clothes in, turning the washing machine on, closing the doors. Might need some ventilation for the dryer, but I liked it. I don't need a big laundry. You almost just want it to disappear.
You learn a lot from apartments, right? Because you have to come up with storage solutions. So if you remember the layout from the plan, behind you is the existing kitchen. This is a room that we can't touch until the new kitchen is built. But we're going to try and do this and the entrance, which is, the entrance, which is here, at the same time. And then we're going to throw in the toilet as well. Do that at the same time as well.
You know, a few people have made comments like, oh, Jess never complains. She seems to really be managing the renovation. We both complain to each other, just not on camera. However, credit where credit's due. The reason this renovation has been manageable is entirely up to Scott's planning. So he's really thought about like leaving this kitchen until the new one's built. So there's no point where we're without a kitchen. He's going to build a new toilet before we do the bathroom. So we know we won't have to poop in a bucket outside. Our friends did that. And also like obsessed with dust control. And that makes a huge difference when you're living in the renovation.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, if it wasn't for Scott's like constant figuring out this moving puzzle of how do we live as nicely as possible and renovate, I don't think we would be coping as well as we are.
That's something that I always try to do on jobs, but here when I'm actually living in the house, it becomes acute. You realize, oh man, this is really important. And you realize what effect having a mess around you would have had on the clients. You know, like I leave a job and I'm driving away, I'm not really thinking about what it feels like to be in that space anymore. But now that I actually live in the renovation, I can feel it.
We are finding it hard. Don't be misled. It is a challenge. It helps that we're doing this full time, I'm sure, and it's just us. And we're also very thankful that we're able to do it. So that helps as well.
Oh,
but
yeah, it's huge.
Yes.
If we had to scrape away and do this at weekends, it would be a whole different story.
Oh yeah, I feel sorry for people who've done this with young children and full-time jobs, and you are the true heroes.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it is still a challenge. And a question I get a lot is, do you really think you're going to finish it by the end of the year? No, I don't think I'm going to finish it by the end of the year. But I'm still aiming for that goal to finish it by the end of the year. I'm thinking maybe the bathroom renovation, might have to push that out.
That's not super urgent.
But we'll work towards it still.
The bathroom's ugly, but it's functional. When this big room is finished, this is more than 50% of the house.
Yeah.
Physically. So I think when this is done, it's going to feel like the house is pretty much done. I hope.
We'll see. Thanks for watching. See you in the next exciting episode.